Welcome to the Optional Product Consistency Training webinar. My name is Patrick Champagne, and joined along with me is Aaron Primo. We are from the Franchise Operations Training Team, and today we will be your guides on this journey, providing information related to the brand's product consistency and quality initiative. Before we begin, I'd like to remind you of the franchisee notice. This deck and the materials mentioned throughout contain information related to optional business practices. As independent business owners or employees of independent businesses, you may or may not use these at your sole discretion. Also, much of the information presented today is confidential. With any brand information when joining a call such as this, it's incredibly important to keep information seen or heard confidential. Never share information early and never share with anyone outside of the brand. Knowing today's strong social media world, it's important to keep brand news confidential. Just a quick overview of today's experience. We'll start with the importance of product consistency and quality, which serve as the bedrock for the changes and updates coming with this initiative. We'll then take a deep dive into the brand's menu and process updates, which will include information on the changes coming to the ops assessment. We'll provide an overview of the available optional training resources for this initiative before going through the timeline to help ensure that your stores are ready to hit the ground running with these updates. To help set the stage, I want to highlight the importance of product consistency and quality. Consistency and quality are a continuous effort reflected in the brand's evolving menu. This initiative aims to increase consistency across products, highlighting both food safety and product quality. To enable your stores to produce consistent, high-quality, delicious food, the brand has made meaningful progress by taking bold actions such as the development of a smallware to help produce consistent stuffed crust pizzas, adopting a 7-topping limit to help with operational efficiency, and product eliminations to simplify and streamline the brand's menu. And these eliminations and simplifications can not only help with operations, but also serve as a way for the brand to optimize the menu, paving the way for future innovations. As teams worked to develop the updates that we're going to discuss today, consistency was always top of mind across all elements of operations, from product to food safety. Now, being hungry for more doesn't always mean a new product to the system. It means that we also take a look at current processes and procedures to strengthen product consistency and quality, which can help to reinforce that strong foundation on which your customer satisfaction is built. With product consistency top of mind, let's dive in to the updates. First up, the eliminations. Italian sausage marinara pasta, BYO pasta, the optional pasta bread bowl and pasta box, the bacon and jalapeno add-ons for 5 cheese mac and cheese, and sauce concentrate will be eliminated. For stores currently using sauce concentrate, you will automatically be transitioned to RTU pizza sauce. The transition from concentrate to RTU will differ across each supply chain center, with a target of early to mid-January for the entire system to be switched over. Ideal usage for RTU sauce will update when a store makes their transition. Impacted stores will receive bulletins from their local SECs with additional information. A quick note about stores that carry pasta boxes. Stores that carry pasta boxes will also receive an SEC bulletin notifying them of when they will receive their last order. This resource, which is available on Pinet, offers optional ordering guidance to stores converting from sauce concentrate to RTU sauce. A quick guide to prepping RTU sauce. Pour the bag into a clean and sanitized sauce bucket. And we recommend using a sauce extractor just to make sure that you get everything you paid for. Date buckets according to the shelf life guide. Now, a big point of emphasis here for stores that are moving to RTU sauce, you do not need to add water during the prep process. When prepping bottles, it's important to note sauce must come directly from sauce bags and date bottles according to the shelf life guide. Next, the process changes. But before we get into those updates, I want to take a moment and focus on the meaning of ready to eat or RTE. Ready to eat products require strict temperature control and protection from cross contamination to ensure safety and consistency. Within your operations, select refrigerated items will now follow RTE handling procedures, adjusting prep, storage, and handling practices to maintain product quality, flavor, and safety across every store. Now, let's be clear. The goal is to get every product that comes out of the oven to 165 degrees or more. In the slight chance that wings or pasta do not hit at least 165, the product will still be considered food safe with these new RTE procedures. A new how-to tutorial video showing the updated prep and assembly procedures is available on Pinet. We recommend heading over to Pinet to give it a watch. The prep procedures are also detailed in this job aid, which will be included in the store training kit. So just highlighting some of the steps here, right? Ensuring that your prep surface is clean and sanitized, washing hands, applying gloves. You're going to put 8 wings into your prep bag. You're going to twist and tuck to help preserve freshness. Place those bags into a clean and sanitized bin and date the bin according to the shelf life guide. These resources, which will also be included in your store kit, detail the updated assembly procedures, including the arrangements for both wings and boneless chicken. So just to highlight a few of the steps on the assembly procedures job aid, you're going to line your disc with a 12 by 12 parchment. You're going to empty your wings onto your disc from your prep bag. You're going to turn that prep bag inside out onto your hand, using that prep bag as a barrier between your bare hand and the wings. You're going to arrange the wings on the disc, and then once they are properly spaced, discard the prep bag and place the wings into the oven. And transitioning to pasta, a new tutorial video is available on Pinet showing the updated prep and assembly procedures. The pasta prep process is supported by this resource, which provides step-by-step information for prepping penne and grilled chicken for chicken Alfredo. Now, the tutorial video mentions that any extra grilled chicken left after prepping pasta can be used to fill your make line bin. If you have penne noodles left over that are less than 1 serving, it is recommended to prep that amount into a bag and note the weight. Then, during your next prep, fill a second bag with the remaining needed amount of penne to complete the 5.5 ounce serving. Your store training kit will also include these optional resources. The one on the left details the updated pasta assembly procedures, and the one on the right offers a fresh new look for the pasta portions. With the eliminations and redesign, we have been able to condense pasta portions and recipe information from 4 job aid cards down to just 1. As a reminder, topping portion amounts for chicken Alfredo and 5 cheese mac and cheese will remain the same. Now that we've talked about the RTE procedures, let's take a look at what you can do to begin preparing to execute. Stores will need prep bags and gloves. And as you can see from the steps just shown, sauce bottle liners work as great prep bags. As an alternative option, prep bags with a stand or holder are available and can be purchased through CNA Marketplace. Gloves can be purchased on your own or through CNA Marketplace. If being sourced on your own, gloves must be food safe, powder free, and latex free. Those stores currently using 9x9 bags can continue to do so at this time. Now, 9x9 bags are only available at select SCCs. Be sure to work with your organizational leadership to determine how you will equip your store to handle these new procedures. Moving on to the product modifications. The stuffed cheesy bread process will see 3 updates. First, moving to half of a sheet of 12x12 parchment instead of a full sheet. That's right, no more having to fold parchment or worrying about it blowing over the top of your SCBs in the oven. Transitioning to a half sheet of 12x12 parchment is an easy win for operations. Next, SCBs will now be made with half of a pan dough ball instead of half of a large dough ball. The stretching and sizing procedures will remain the same. And finally, the interior pizza cheese portion will be reduced from 2 ounces to 1.5 ounces. Product testing has shown that moving to the premium pan dough for this product is a huge win for taste. And the slight reduction of interior pizza cheese helps with bake consistency, really helping to ensure that your customers receive delicious and consistent stuffed cheesy breads every time. These changes are shown in this updated resource that will be included in your store kit. What about loaded chicken? First, there will be an update to sizing when cutting and prepping. Any pieces larger than a pepperoni will be cut into quarters. Pieces about the same size as a pepperoni will be cut in half. And pieces smaller than a pepperoni can now be used in loaded chicken builds, but they do not need to be cut. Those pieces can be used whole. For assembly, orders of loaded chicken will now be built by weighing out 6 ounces of prepped cut boneless chicken. The updates to smaller piece sizes and weighing out the chicken helps to produce a more consistent bake throughout the product. It's important to note that topping portions will remain the same. These updated resources reflect the changes related to loaded chicken and also include information on prepping boneless chicken. The prep procedures for boneless chicken will remain the same. Another resource receiving a fresh look, the loaded chicken portion card. With the redesign of this resource, we were able to reduce the job aid card count from 5 all the way down to 1. And as a reminder, there will be no changes to loaded chicken topping portions. I want to take a quick moment and touch on the loaded chicken guides. With these new updates, these guides cannot be used to bake product of any kind. They can be used as a pre-bake guide when building orders of loaded chicken, but the chicken must be moved to a disc prior to baking. As a result of these changes, CNA Marketplace will no longer sell these guides. Now, I know we've covered a lot up to this point, so I want to do a quick review. For eliminations, Italian sausage marinara pasta, BYO pasta, pasta bread bowl, and pasta box, if carried by your store, the optional bacon and jalapeno add-ons for 5 cheese mac and cheese, and sauce concentrate will be eliminated. Wings and pasta, including grilled chicken to be used for chicken Alfredo, will be portioned and prepped into bags using ready-to-eat handling. For modifications, stuffed cheesy bread will now use a half sheet of 12x12 parchment. half of a pan dough ball, and 1.5 ounces of interior pizza cheese. Loaded chicken will have the update to prepping and sizing, and orders will now be built by weighing out 6 ounces of prepped cut boneless chicken, with topping portions remaining the same. I'm now going to hand the reins over to Aaron, who will begin by taking you through the updates coming to the ops assessment. So take it away, Aaron.
Thank you, Patrick. Hello, everyone. I'm excited to go through the updates to the ops assessment. Now, as you may have heard from our system call announcement, we are making changes to the ops assessment in 2026 to dial in on supporting the Hungry for More strategy. This will include a robust change across the assessment itself, escalations for brand damaging stores, and a new data strategy around all of our store visits. But for today, I will be covering the changes to the ops assessment specifically. The 2026 assessment features new sections. When crafting the 2026 OA, we took the opportunity to be reflective, and we feel that we've combined the parts of the OER program and the ops assessment to produce an assessment that encourages stores to prioritize great product, image, and customer service. The 2026 assessment sections include product worth 37 points, product procedures worth 22 points, cleanliness and food safety worth 22 points, brand image worth 15 points, and brand safety worth 4 points. Now that we talked about the different sections in the assessment, let's take a deeper look into each of the sections' changes. Starting with the product section, the product is now worth 37 points. And I know what you're all thinking. Aaron, it's worth 38 points on the 2025 assessment. And you're not wrong. But today's 38 product points include 9 points of different procedures, which will no longer be the case in 2026. These 37 points are all pizzas and sides. The team will evaluate 7 total pizzas and 3 sides, including 1 cut test pizza. Now, this change will also include the OA specialist to pre-order some product, and this will help to expedite visits and level the playing field across all stores. But don't worry, the team has a procedure in place to bad order the order and include photo verification in your pizza photos. We also have standard operating procedures in place to ensure that if your store is very busy, we aren't adding another order into the mix. Next, let's talk about the product procedures section. Now, this section is an all-new section, and it's designed to capture all of the processes and procedures that go into making fresh, quality product for customers every day. This section will be worth 22 points. Please feel free to reference the 2026 Operations Assessment Guide for full details, but I will call out some of the bigger changes here. First and foremost, I'm sure you all remember our focus on dough in last January's Dough Sprint. We're doubling down on what you learned and what we changed in the proofing standards in 2024. This is important because what we know from consumer testing is that dough is the #1 ingredient that drives customer liking and what makes our product profile so specifically Domino's. We are increasing our focus during the assessment. We've split the dough management question into 2 separate questions, evaluating 1, what dough you are using to make customers pizza during the assessment, better known as what's on the table, and 2, do you have the systems in place to make sure you have quality dough for your customers all the time? Now, these questions cover bullet points that you are likely familiar with from today's assessment, but the #1 question we've been asked about is, what counts as a system? The dough proofing product standards require to use a system to determine the amount of dough needed to proof for the day, broken down by sales period. Some of you may opt to use the dough proofing projection report. pulse reports such as menu sales by hour, or a tool that your franchise organization has designed. All of these are great options. Similar to the thoughts on dough management, the 2026 assessment focuses on the importance of two of our other core ingredients, pizza cheese and pizza sauce. Frozen cheese can impact the product appearance, how the cheese melts and tastes, and how the product bakes, all of which impact consumer liking and purchase intent. Cold sauce can do the same, along with impacting how the dough bakes. This is such an important customer factor that it now gets its own question on the ops assessment. You'll also see that the bullet points under this question focus on proper handling, thawing cheese under refrigeration, and setting up systems to ensure there is quality cheese at all times. Stores should be utilizing a system for thawing and tempering that ensures no frozen cheese makes it to the make line rail. Let's quickly recap some additional changes you will find in the product procedures section. The first is dating SOP. Now your procedures around dating are a separate question from having expired product. There's also a new requirement for having the current Domino's shelf life guide posted inside of your stores, which will also help you on your food safety evaluation. You will see also under the product handling procedures that it covers most of the processes that Patrick outlined today when related to ready-to-eat changes. And lastly, we've updated the scales and job aids question to Domino's tools, and we now require that stores have a Domino's pizza grading tool available and in good repair. A quick reminder while we're talking about the product procedures, another change we are making in January is updating the carryover process. Stores will now be allowed to flip their bins in the morning, which will allow for the opening crew to do all of those dishes. This means at the close of business, anything still in a carryover bin from that morning should be discarded. All other bins should be lidded and placed into the walk-in. Then in the morning, the openers should place all the product in the fresh carryover bins while setting up the make line rail. We have another few call outs over the carryover process on the slide here. Remember, please post the poster detailing the process you are keeping and following on the walk-in door. Keep the same color for carryover bins. Do not refill carryover bins. And make line bins used for refilling must be dated as in use. As a reminder, all carryover process should happen outside of business hours, no matter if the store flips bins at close or open. And again, please make sure you update your walk-in poster if you are changing the process that you currently follow today. Now, let's jump into the cleanliness and food safety section. These 22 points should be very familiar to stores, with some simplification of questions, making the section easier to understand. All food safety critical items are still being evaluated during the ops assessment. These questions and procedures are paramount to ensuring customer food safety, and there are procedures we must remain committed to upholding in every store. Now, where we really simplified things on the 2026 assessment is by combining bullet points under one easy to understand question. Let's use smallwares and bakewares as an example. In the 2025 assessment, it is scored in 4 places and in 2 different sections. Well, Dominoids, in the 2026 assessment, all of those notes are now combined into one question. Do you have enough smallwares and bakewares, and are they well maintained? We followed the same process with the oven, walk-in, and the make line. Each of those pieces of equipment now have one simplified question worth 2 points. Moving into the last big concept in the 2026 assessment is tiered scoring. Now, you may all remember the store interior question from the OER days. 3 points for your entire store to be spick and span. and it was an all or nothing question. The assessment team wanted to bring back some of the consolidation of having all store interior pieces in one place, but not bring back the all or nothing scoring. The assessment is incentivizing doing the right thing and maintaining cleanliness for both stores and for your customers. With that said, each bullet point under the 3 questions will have an assigned value of 1 point or 3 points. And you cannot lose more than 3 points per question. There are 3 questions that will utilize the tiered scoring. That's store interior, store exterior, and customer area. And please note that the store exterior and customer area are all in the brand section. Now, each of these questions have bullet points that are worth 1 point each. Now let's walk through an example with the store interior question on this slide. If a store maintains clean floors, restrooms, walls, and temps, but struggles with the ceiling, they will be deducted 1 point in this question. If there are issues with the walls, floors, and restrooms, they would lose all 3 points here. What's important to note is that if there are small issues in each of the bullet points, it can be combined to make 1 full point deduction. All right, 2 more sections to go. The brand image section is bringing focus to 15 points that drive customer image perception. This includes store exterior, customer area, hot bags, delivery vehicles, and uniforms. Please take a look through the guide to see all of the changes, but for today, we will focus on 2 specific question changes. Number 1 is introducing the Domino's technology question. This question includes questions we currently look at: bump bar at make line, carryout trackers, menu boards, with the addition of cut table tech. Specialists will be evaluating that cut table tech is mounted correctly and functional in the stores. And yes, this does include the provision that any shelving over the cut table has been removed. And a new addition to the OA, but not new to the system, is a question evaluating whether customers are being greeted in your store. You can find the details in the guide, but as we continue to chase down the huge carryout potential in the pizza market, it's important to prioritize friendly customer interactions. And last, but certainly not least, is the brand safety section. This section still covers all of our important cash handling procedures, weapons, and security callback procedures. The caller ID question has been removed from the assessment. Now, with all these changes, it's worth noting that the operations assessment does not assess all of the brand standards. So it's important to familiarize yourself with the operating product and food safety standards for the best understanding. Now, let's dive into our optional training and marketing resources. You can expect kits to arrive in stores during the week of January 5th. Now, it's important to note, store kits will not arrive with your supply chain orders. Instead, they will be delivered by USPS. I want to stress this point, so I will say it again. Store kits will be delivered by USPS. So please be on the lookout for your kit during the week of January 5th. As shown here, envelopes will have a yellow tag, return address with a Domino's style logo. If you have stores that do not receive a store kit by January 12th, it is recommended to contact Direct for Stores as they will be handling the extra kits. Inside this exterior envelope will be these envelopes containing the marketing and optional training materials for this initiative. Again, you can expect these kits to arrive in stores during the week of January 5th, delivered by, you guessed it, USPS. The marketing kit materials will include a materials one-pager, monitor burst, nutrition guide, planogram, and a bilingual picture menu. Moving to the optional training kit materials to support this launch, this resource provides an overview of the updates, an optional training checklist to help ensure your store teams are ready for a great launch, as well as a section to help you keep track of store training. In order to support the updates we have discussed, your store training kit will contain several new and updated job aids to replace your current resources. We covered the majority of these resources earlier in the session, but wanted to touch on them here. So please be sure to properly dispose of any outdated job aids and replace them with the updated versions. Your store kit will also include an updated shelf life guide poster. As I mentioned earlier in the ops assessment update, please make sure you have the most current version of this shelf life guide posted inside of your stores. Moving to a few resources that will be available on PieNet only. For stores using Pulse 3.9, the guide shown on the left offers information on how to access and use the menu mix by hour report in Pulse. You can use this optional report to see total quantities sold over the previous 4 weeks, allowing you to calculate a 4-week average. This data can help with prep forecasting for pasta and for wings. For stores that operate utilizing Pulse 4.0, you can use the optional inventory item trend report in Power. This guide provides information on how to view the ideal usage for pasta and wings to help with prep forecasting. The product ordering guide coming soon to PieNet will provide optional ordering guidance for penne pasta, large hand-tossed dough, and BP dough as a result of the changes coming from this initiative. And finally, there is a newly approved optional process for quick thawing Alfredo sauce. Now, it is recommended to only use these procedures in emergency situations. If choosing to use this process, please follow this guide carefully. And that brings us to PieNet. As always, it is your go-to spot for additional optional training resources. Here, you can find all of the training kit resources, the digital resources we discussed, and the how-to tutorial videos available, all located on PieNet. Now, let's get ready to bring this home with a trip down the timeline. Just a quick overview of today's experience. We started with the importance of product consistency and quality, which helped us establish the bedrock for the changes and updates coming with this initiative. We then took a deep dive into the menu and process update, which included information on the changes coming to the ops assessment. We provided an overview of the available optional training resources for this initiative, and next we'll be going through the timeline to help ensure your stores are ready to hit the ground running with these updates. Now, you can expect to see the kits arriving in stores during the week of January 5th. As a reminder, the store kits will not be arriving with your supply chain orders, but instead they will be delivered via USPS. So be sure to tell your stores to be on the lookout during the week of January 5th. Envelopes will have a yellow tag with the Domino's Tile logo. The following week, the week of January 12th, is reserved for in-store training. But please feel free to begin training on these procedures as soon as possible. The full launch of these updates will begin on January 20th, along with a store challenge over product consistency, with more details to come on that later. On behalf of myself and Patrick, we thank you for tuning in to this product consistency webinar. Have a great rest of your day.